Well, that was amazing because I was living at that time in an apartment over a discotheque, a nightclub kind of thing, in Redcar in North Yorkshire, right on the coast. And I never had a telephone. I didn't need one. For local stuff, I'd call up the guy who did the bookings and go, "Are we working this weekend?" So the only phone number I could give these guys was a discotheque, a nightclub, owned by a dear friend of mine, Tony Zivanaris. It was a place called the Top Deck, which is still open. Anyway, his office was close to my apartment, so, when the club was closed, calls went through his office. And when I got back, well, number one, after the audition, the guys asked me if I'd stay in London overnight and go in and meet the management the next day, where I was grilled, of course. Do you have any sex offenses? Do you have a passport? Do you have, we were an altar boy, But so I was having a drink with Roger that night, and he was going, "You know what, David? I think you got it. I think you got it. Oh my God, I think you've got it." And we were unbelievably excited. And we were sharing a room, not a bed, but sharing a room with 2 single beds in this hotel. And my absolute clear memory of that night was, he doesn't have a belly button. Roger, this guy, he'd had surgery years before. It was almost minimal, where he'd lost his belly button or something. And that's all I could see. It was like a Teletubby before the Teletubbies, bless his heart. And he had to go back because he had a proper job, So I stayed in to meet the management, and then I was taken by one of them, I think Tony Edwards, to King's Cross Station to get the train back to Middlesbrough and ultimately to Redcar, and it was like they had streamers out for me in the apartment building, with "Welcome Home, Superstar," which I'm going, oh, wow, because I was really confident at that time. I heard nothing the next day. I heard nothing, and I'd spent, I had 20 quid maybe in savings. I was buying everyone, whiskeys and, "Oh, you want Bacardi and Coke? Here you go." Blowing my savings. And then after 4 days, I started to think, I don't think I'm in. So I started to actually come up with excuses why I wasn't going to accept the gig. And that's absolutely true, which was, I've been thinking about it. I'm not sure that music's my cup of tea, And it was almost a week later, Tony Zivanaris' secretary came banging on my door and said, "Deep Purple's office on the phone. Deep Purple's management's on the phone." And it was like, one of these things. And I ran across to this office, and Tony, God bless him, had put a bottle of Glenfiddich whiskey, a little higher quality than Bell's, to either celebrate or commiserate. And it was Tony Edwards on the phone, one of the managers of Deep Purple at the time. And I said, "Hello?" And he goes, "Hello, David?" I said, "Yes, yeah. And he goes, "David, it's Tony." And I went, "Oh, hi, Tony. How are you?" "Very well." And I swear to God, he was milking this, And it's just going on and interminable, And Tony's E's like, what? Are you in? And after what seemed like a lifetime, he says, "Oh, by the way, the boys have asked me to tell you you're in. How soon can you get to London?" I went, "I'll call you back." Boom, whiskey. Oh my God, I'm in. It was extraordinary. Yeah, it was absolutely extraordinary. But yeah, I was making excuses to people. I'm not quite sure about this when I never heard anything immediately.